welcome once again to this week's edition of the Dakota Angler 2-Minute Fishing Report. Well, we definitely had a change in the weather this past weekend. Temperatures were 20 to 30 degrees colder than what they were the previous day. That cold front definitely impacted the bite, especially Friday and into Saturday. But as the weekend wore on and into the week, the bite actually picked up across the area, and I think the water temperatures are really starting to cool in response to not only the recent cool weather, but the overnight low temperatures as well. The lakes up in the northeastern part of the state that produced walleyes this past week included Waubay, Bitter, Dry Lake by Clark, Indian Springs, Goose, Opitz, Reed, also a few being at Stink, as well as Rush. Down in the southeastern part of the state, the lakes that produced walleyes included Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, Ponset, a few being caught there, as well as 81 Ponds and Sinai. A few also being caught at Whitewood, Island, and Vermilion. And then the bite's been pretty good at the Trophy Lake, Twin Lakes, where, again, remember, you can only keep a walleye if it's 28 inches or larger. Now, as far as the presentations that people are doing to catch the walleye, it seems like really no change over the past week. A lot of people are snap jigging, and that's what we did this past week. Also, people are using bottom bouncers with crawlers. And then also people are still pulling crankbaits, covering a lot more water, looking for those active fish. But now we're starting to see the trend for this time of year. A few people are using jigs and minnows and having luck doing that. And then as far as the panfish bite or the perch bite is concerned around the area, that has kind of held its own, not really taken off yet, but still people are catching a few perch here and there. If you want to catch perch, right now Big Stone is the place to be. But again, you have to sort quite a bit to catch to come away with your quality type of fish. Other lakes that produce perch, that is, this past week included Waubay, Pius, Stink, Indian Springs, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Thompson, Sinai, a few being caught at Ponset as well. Now, what are you guys doing to catch the perch? You know, again, no change. A lot of drop chain lures like the Pilkies, tipped with waxworms, maggots, or even a small minnow. Other people are using tungsten jigs underneath bobbers or even jigging that tungsten jig. Those are things to keep in mind this upcoming week. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about something that we all deal with all the time, and that's our own stubbornness. What do I mean by that? Well, it's what we use when we choose to go out on a particular lake. It's the favorite lure that we've used all the time, the favorite crankbait. If I got that crankbait, caught the largest number of fish last time we were out, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to start with that, and that's the first thing that I'm going to tie on my line and stick with it. That's where a lot of people will really fail at this, is that a lot of times people will not change the baits. We are too stubborn to actually listen to what the fish are trying to tell you. The best thing that you can do, if you're fishing with multiple people, don't all fish with the same bait, or at least have different colors, different variations of the same bait, but let the fish tell you what they want. For instance, this past week, my son Josh and I were out fishing on Wednesday, and we were snap jigging. I started throwing a jigging wrap of a certain color and didn't have any bites, nothing. We were marking fish, but so you can definitely tell that they weren't interested in that necessarily that color or that type of bait. So I switched it up to the Moonshine Shiver Minnow. Totally different color, different profile bait, and again, no bites. So then what do? By God, I'm a little bit more stubborn than that. I'm going to change it up to a Tikka Minnow. And I went to the green frog pattern. Guess what? Bite after bite after bite. I can't explain it. I just gave them something that they wanted out of just trial and error. Just picking something out that I wanted to snap jig the entire day, but I had to find a bait that was actually going to produce the bites. And I eventually did. If I would have been stubborn, if I would have stuck to my original plan, I would have went back home saying no luck whatsoever. But since I changed it up, I came away with a smile and plenty of fish. So the lesson learned here, folks, again, don't be stubborn. Listen to what the fish are trying to tell you. Change it up. Don't stick to that favorite type of lure. I have all kinds of different favorite lures in this store, to say the least. Come on by, take a look. We'll help you out with that. But again, the key is get over our stubbornness. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd at dakotaangler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And before we end this week's report, I want to remind you folks, this is the time of the year when the fishing really starts to pick up. The bite really starts to take off, and a lot of people start thinking about putting away their equipment. Honestly, don't do that before you regret it, because again, there's still a lot of good fishing left to be had, and we have plenty of tackle on hand here at the store. If you have any questions about what we have available, feel free to give us a call at 605-336-9132, or check it out on the website at dakotaangler.com, because everything that you see behind me and in the store is on our website as well. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week, and again, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Stay healthy, and folks, stay safe.